Hey guys, Dylan Blue Vapes, once again. I'm actually really starting to enjoy doing these reviews and stuff. Joyetech's been a huge supporter of ours for a while. Apparently they like our reviews too, and they've sent us another one. This is the Espion Tour. Now, if you watch the first 30 seconds of my video, maybe you'll watch the rest. But it's time to offer Team Free Shit some free shit. And this one is welcomed. So, I've got this Espion Tour. I'm not going to open it, because I got another one. And I've mentioned before, I did some reviews on the Ego IO Mansion. Not a huge fan. Maybe you'll like it. Gonna give away both of these guys with a set of coils, or a couple of coils, because I think I've burned up all of the coils in these guys, because that's what they're good for. Maybe you will vape it differently and it'll work better for you. We're gonna give these guys away. I've got one of these Joyetech runabouts. I just got this shoved in here. But this is probably our top pick for any of these smaller devices. It's got to be a contender for the Breeze. It's a little bit different because this is actually a pod system, and I've talked about that in a previous video. So if you're interested, go and look at that video. But you're probably going to want to hang around and watch me bullshit about this, or you'll like skip forward to the end of the review and just, you know, see what the contest details are, because I'm gonna give away some shit. Joyetech's been good enough to give us a couple of these guys and some of these Ego IO Mansions, and now the Espion Tour. I'm going to give away the white one, and you know, depending on how much I like or dislike this thing, I think I might keep this one for myself because it's blue and pretty, and there's a bunch of different colors and stuff too. Now, we did review, or I did review, one of these similar tanks not too long ago. This one is, it actually comes with the device and the tank, separate but together, kind of. It's got the sleeve guy. This tank is called the Cubis Max. Now, I mean, this is not even Cubis. Cubis is not like an English word or anything. So they're making up words to call these things. Maybe it stands for something or whatever, but we've seen a Cubis. We've seen a Cubis tank. We've seen, you know, Cubis Pro. There's a bunch of different Cubisi. Cubises? Yeah. So, I don't know, Joyetech, it's starting to piss me off with it's not even you guys, it's Smock too. Smock has done the TFV8, the TFV8 baby, the TFV8 big baby, the TFV8 little baby, the little baby brother, the little fucking fuck. Just stop it! Cubis is done. It's over. Come up with a new word. Make up, let's say, the Qbert, the quark, fucking anything. Making up words, make up a new word for a new tank and a new device. Now that's not to say that this tank is any good or any bad or any of that stuff. I'm just getting sick of seeing the TFV8 baby, the TFV12, the TFV, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Come up with new names so that we can tell these things apart. Because the Cubis and the Cubis Max take completely different coils. So why would you call it the same thing? Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Anyhow, I will go over the list of ingredients in the back here. It comes with the Espion Tour no cell, meaning it doesn't come with batteries. The Cubis Max atomizer, we talked about that. It is a 5 mil tank, which is pretty decent. I believe the old Cubis was only like 1 or 2 mils and it kind of sucked or whatever, but anyway, we're not talking about that. Now you get 2 times NC film TM heater from 35 to 45 watts. We'll talk about that. We've seen something like that similar. There's also a 1 times QC USB cable. I don't know what the hell QC is, quality control USB cable. I don't know what that means, but 2 times manuals, so they're probably going to give you a manual for this, a manual for that, a warranty card, a warning card, spare parts, maximum output wattage on this device. It's 220 watts, so it's a contender. And then input voltage is 5 watts, or 5 volts. Whatever. What else does it say? Now this is probably the most interesting part of the tank, and another good reason not to call it a Cubis, because it doesn't have anything to do with Cubis, aside from the fact that the Cubis tank back in the day was coming up with a notch coil. It looks similar to the notch coil, but it ain't round. It's like a little heating element. I don't know how well you can see that. It's too much light going on, but it looks like that. It's like a heating plate. We've seen that before. Let's open these up. Let's start with this Cubis eye, the Cubis Max. I need some stabby stuff. It's like Christmas. They like to seal these things up pretty good too. Alright, so the tank looks a little bit similar to the Pro tank. The Aries Pro, you know, the one from Joyetech. Fucking packaged well enough. There we go. So another one of these like slidey deals where it slides over. Now I talked about a tank that's very similar to this from Joyetech, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing. You can't see any rubber sealing here. You can't see it underneath. It's kind of got this little track system where it slides back and forth, which makes it really, really simple to fill. You don't have to take anything right off and set it down and then fill it up. It's all built in, but the problem that I had with the similar tank to this is it didn't seal very well. It didn't have any sort of rubber sealing gasket up here, which in some cases could be a good thing, because those rubber sealing things, like the little rubber insert that goes into the TFV8, they always seem to leak, right? Or they rip, and then the tank will leak and all that sort of stuff. Now with this one, the one that was similar to it, I don't even know where it is. Oh, here it is. Came with the Altex T80. Same deal, right? Slide this guy over, same setup, same, fuck, I think it's the same tank. It is the same tank, the Cubis Max. So we have talked about this tank before. They just paired it with this Espion Tour, and they're saying that it's good from, what was it, 35 to 50 watts or whatever. Oh, it says on here. Yeah, 35 to 45 watts. Not ideal. Joyetech. This is a 220 watt mod. At least go halfway, you know, like 110 watt or whatever. There's no change in coils on this thing. There's none of that. I did find that the flavor was pretty damn decent on this thing. I don't think they've made any changes from this. From the one that I just reviewed to this one. It's still got that little pad of cotton in there, and they probably provide you with a couple of extra ones. It's just like this weird little square, not super thick, probably a little bit. It was tough for me to figure out how to get it just right, using just our own cotton or whatever, but it was doable. The other thing that I did not really like about this one is there is your coil. Weird, right? You can see right through it. So big airflow, whatever. It was a fairly good flavor, but in order to dry fire this, you have to have this together, and then screw this bottom little ring section on here like so, and then screw it onto your mod. You can dry fire it, but you cannot see what's going on unless you like look through the drip tip, and it's just not super convenient. So I think it would have been better off keeping the whole 510 assembly with this bottom ring, so that when you look at the ring, the 510 sticks out the bottom, you screw it onto your device, and you can turn it down to 10 or 12 watts and just dry fire it so that you can actually clean it out. But this is not the case. This is kind of like a 3-part system where the connections and stuff are there, the 510 is on the other side, it sits inside of this ring, and then it makes connection with this like stove top type of coil. So yeah, I'm not going to go over this one again. We'll see what they threw in here. This is a sample, so maybe they've changed things up in the box a little bit. I don't know. Let's just dump it out and have a look. Extra glass, extra freaking micro screws, some extra O-rings. Oh, they actually, with this one, they sent you an extra one of them little heating elements. So that's kind of cool. The last one they didn't, and then they send you some of these extra squares and stuff. But again, I ain't gonna go through this again. I've got that other one up there. Maybe we'll light that up and show you what it's like on this new tour. But it's not gonna give it a good indication as to what it can do. So maybe I'll even screw this RDA on there and see what it's like. This is the exciting part, I think. So let's stab into it, see what's up. Again, list of ingredients. The Espion Tour no-cell USB cable, manual warranty card, warning card, maximum output 220. So there's some redundancies from the outside of the packaging to the inside of the packaging. You know, there's Joyetech on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those different social media outlets, and a little bit of a, you know, what do you call that? Picture of the device on the outside, and then a scratch and sniff and all that shit that's fairly common with Joyetech and anybody else. So all the expected stuff is on there, joyetech.com, so you can check out some of their other products, and then just a very basic, simple black box, nice, elegant. No one gives a shit about the box. Let's pull this guy out of here and debut it. How about that? First thing I notice, it's really light. It's probably right up there with the Vapors. What the hell is that? The Vapor Storm Puma. Very light like that. Kind of got some like corrugatedness on the outside. It's obviously very plastic, so it is light. Looks like it could be like 3D printed even. I don't know, it doesn't have the, whatever. So there's a little bit of a Espion Tour on that side, if I can catch it in the light just right. There's a little embossing or engraving, or it's smooth, so I don't know if it's laser engraved or whatever. Couple of buttons right up front. That's odd. I wonder, I haven't, okay, this is a first look. I haven't done any reviewing. I haven't seen any reviews on this thing. I purposely have done this so that I can open it up and show you guys exactly what's going on from a first-hand look. Now, what I say is odd is this little button here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's like a small indent on this side and a big indent on that side. So maybe like Braille. I don't know. I kind of feel it. If I could read Braille. Yeah, so there's like obviously up and down. And then there's a little tab at the bottom here. Probably see it there, so you can easily open it. Magnetic door seems to attach fairly good. There's no wiggly, clicky, any of that crap. Stays on there pretty good. And there's where your batteries go. I don't know, I see other reviewers talking about this too, and I don't think it'd be a bad idea. It's just a black, you know, black box in there, and you can't really, unless you get up close and personal and look, there is like a positive and a negative and a positive and a negative. It would be nice to see, like, you know, just a splotch of nail polish in there to kind of illuminate the positive and negative and which way it goes. But all of these devices, and I'm assuming it's the same with this one, have the reverse battery protection and all that stuff too. So I'm just going to shove some batteries in it, and I'll do it on camera so that you guys see it before I even do. What the screen looks like when you put your batteries in it. Bling, turns on, and pretty bright, easy to read screen. There's a first look. You've seen more than I have. So, if we're getting into a brand new device, I'm assuming that it's going to be all of the same kind of button combinations that's going to get you around. It started up in power mode at 1 watt. The next line down is kind of like your resistance, and it's a decent size, so you can actually really see your resistance very well. On the left hand side, and they've kind of split the screen at the bottom, it's your voltage, and then on the right hand side is your amperage, and then down below that it looks like a 1 and a 2, and they both look like batteries, so it's going to give you a look at, or an idea as to what your batteries are doing. So it's you know, individually metering each of your batteries individually. So charge port, And let's see if we can get into the menu system without looking at any instructions or anything. So we'll do a 1, 2, 3. Yep. 3 clicks is going to get you into the mode setup, all that stuff. I don't get super in depth with all this stuff. There's a set mode where you can go, yeah, you can lock your coil, power mode, stealth mode, Supara logo, so you can probably change your logo on this stuff. There's a timeout, and then you've got preheat and exit. So I'll exit, go back in. This says info. There's info on your batteries. Oh, it's actually, if you go into the info settings, it's going to tell you the individual voltage of each of your batteries. Neat. Press a button, it goes back out. Version, and then exit again, and then exit again, and you're back to your original screen. So round robining, not happening. So we're at 1 watts, all one of them. And it actually scrolls pretty quick. I'll show you guys. I made it to 150 just while I was bullshitting there. But if you hold the button, she's gonna rip down to 0 or down to 1 again, and it'll go all the way up to 220. Let's just, proof is in the pudding, so let's make it happen. And ding. Okay, so we're there. Let's screw something on top. Like I said, the tank that comes with it, I've reviewed it. It's okay. It's fairly decent. Reasonable amount of flavor, reasonable amount of vapor, a little bit of a trick to trying to clean that little heating element and stuff. I think it's a reasonable idea, but I don't know if I'm sold on the whole thing. So, I mean, the tank is here. You guys are welcome to come into the shop, try it out, whatever. Have a look at my other T80 review for a little bit more in-depth look at that tank, and I kind of pick it apart a little bit. But let's just go straight from here, which is unregulated. I can't remember what the resistance is, and I'll tell you what kind of power is going through this thing as soon as we screw it on the top of here. Clouds, bro, clouds. Unscrew this guy. And let's see what it says to us when we screw this thing on top. Oh, 510 is pretty stiff, something that I would expect with a brand new device. And spring loaded, yes, but I don't know. I can still see a gap in between. And I'm not forcing it. Maybe there's a break in, but I don't know how much travel is on that 510. It's definitely spring loaded. Oh, but it's super stiff. That spring is like crazy stiff. Looks like it's got like a gold plated or brass plated 510. It is a little bit springy, but like I say, it's really tight. And then stainless steel 510 threads around the outside. Again, super light mod, even with the batteries in it. Looks like maybe this is a press fit 510, which quite often causes problems and stuff in the future, but I can't speak for this one. I don't know. They've probably been working on that sort of thing. But as soon as I thread my RDA on there, even if I press the button and then put it back on there, it is going to, yes, automatically tell me what the resistance is. So there's no new coil up, same coil down, any of that stuff. It's going to be what it is when you screw it on there. So it gives me a second counter for when I hit the button. It fires up reasonably fast. We're only at 50 some odd watts. I did tell you what I was gonna, so this coil is a 0.11. Give me half a sec. I'm gonna look at like nominal voltage. Let's go 4 volts at 0.11. I've got a little chart over here. So the other device was right in around the 160 watt range. So let's, for comparison's sake,